The series begins in 1984 with a girl named Carrie. She wakes up suddenly to the sound of an alarm after dreaming that she was in Manhattan. We learn that her dream is to travel to this city, but she doesn't know how because she is still young, being only 16 years old. Carrie gets upset when she looks for her mother's bag and can't find it, and discovers that her sister Dorit is the one who took it. This is because Dorit is upset that Carrie took many things belonging to their mother, who we learn died 3 months earlier due to cancer. Carrie argues with Dorit and they fight each other. At this point, their father, Tony, enters and separates them. He then speaks to Carrie alone, telling her that she is the eldest and should be gentler with her sister. Carrie is very sad about the loss of her mother and is unsure what to wear to school. She tells her father that every year she used to buy clothes with her mother, so he decides to open his late wife's wardrobe and gives Carrie her mother's glasses so she has something to remember her by. Carrie is very happy with this gesture. When she goes to school, she feels that all the students pity her because of her mother's death. A girl named Donna tries to sympathize with Carrie to appear kind, but Carrie is not interested and goes to her close friends, Mouse, Magi, and Walt, who we learn are in a relationship. Magi and Walt. Carrie learns from her friends about a new student named Sebastian, who has been expelled from 3 schools but is very rich and can attend any school he wants. Walt, Mouse, and Magi are surprised to see Sebastian talking to Carrie and offering condolences about her mother. Carrie tells her friends she met Sebastian in the summer because he is interested in swimming like her. Carrie is surprised to learn that Mouse got involved with a boy over the summer and that Magi and Walt have started a relationship. Carrie feels like she is the only one without any experiences or past relationships. Later, she sits next to Sebastian and talks to him about her mother. She learns that Sebastian's mother left him, ran away with another man. Carrie is moved when Sebastian holds her hand and comforts her. She remembers their meeting in the summer and how happy she was. Then Sebastian disappeared and stopped attending training. Carrie is shocked to see her father at school, remembers the last time he came to tell her about her mother's death. Carrie gets scared and faints. Afterwards, Carrie's father talks to her and tells her that he had been at the principal's office. He suggests that Carrie should have a change of scenery due to the recent stress she experienced. Carrie is thrilled to learn that she will be going to Manhattan once a week to work in the office of a lawyer who is a colleague of her father. Carrie searches for her mother's bag and finally finds it in her sister's room, but is shocked to see that nail polish spilled on it and ruined it. Carrie fights with Dorit, who admits she is happy about the incident with the bag so that Carrie wouldn't take it. However, Carrie manages to redesign the bag, making it very beautiful. The next day, her father takes her to Manhattan, where Carrie is amazed by the city. However, someone bumps into her, tearing her stockings. Her boss asks her to buy another pair during lunch, so Carrie goes to a big store and is overwhelmed by the amount of clothes there. She is startled when a woman touches her bag and initially thinks she is trying to steal it. Carrie pushes her, but is embarrassed to find out that the woman works for a major fashion magazine and is impressed with the bag. Carrie gets to know her and learns her name is Larissa, who appears to love excitement. To prove this, Larissa steals a dress from the store and asks Carrie for help, which she successfully does without being noticed. Larissa is very impressed with Carrie, gives her her number, and invites her to her party. Carrie is excited and shares the story with Mouse, who tells her that Sebastian wants her number to invite her to a dance party. Carrie is even more thrilled and calls her father to inform him, but Dorit answers the phone and sneaks away from their father. Larissa sends a dress to Carrie for the party, so she wears it and decides not to go to the school party. She meets Larissa and her friends and is astonished by their company, finding it hard to believe she is with famous artists and writers. Meanwhile, Sebastian is at the dance and Donna asks him to dance with her, to which he readily agrees. Carrie is surprised to find out it's late and quickly leaves the party to return home. Walt drives her home. Carrie tells him everything that happened, feeling very happy. However, she is shocked to see Sebastian with Donna, refuses to go with him. Carrie feels that her Manhattan experience has changed her, making her stronger. She is surprised to learn from Walt that he never entered a relationship with Magi, that Magi had been lying to them. Carrie returns home and is stunned to see the police there, learning that her sister is missing. She and her father wait anxiously. The next day, Dorit returns drunk and fights with Carrie, telling her she is not her mother to hold her accountable. Carrie cries and tells her she is not happy about this, wishes their mother would return, that they could just be sisters. Carrie enters her room, followed by her father, who consoles her. He tells her that he will have to admit that his wife has died and that he must take over her role. The next day, Mouse visits Carrie and is distraught because her boyfriend is not responding to her. Carrie comforts and hugs her. Carrie's father decides to gather and donate his wife's clothes with the help of Carrie and her sister. Dorit is very happy when Carrie gives her their mother's green dress and tells her it will look good on her. Meanwhile, Magi is seen with someone other than Walt indicating she is cheating on him. Carrie decides to write her notes in her mother's diary. Her relationship with Sebastian develops, and she becomes sure that he is interested in her. Her relationship with Dorit also improves after their father punishes them by grounding them for 2 weeks. Sebastian calls Carrie and asks her out, but she refuses, informing him that she is grounded. Sebastian then goes out with his father, where he encounters Donna at the same restaurant and ends up sitting at the same table with her. Later, Sebastian goes out with Donna, and at the same time, Mouse sees them and calls Carrie to inform her, asking her to come to protect her boyfriend. Carrie refuses, saying she trusts Sebastian. The next day, Carrie meets Sebastian at school and asks him if anything happened at dinner. Sebastian lies and refuses to tell her. Donna deliberately embarrasses him in front of Carrie by returning his jacket that he left with her. Carrie is upset, but Sebastian reconciles with her, assuring her that nothing happened with Donna and that he wants to go out and have fun with her. Carrie believes him and tells her friends what happened. Maggie advises Carrie to hold on to Sebastian and not let Donna take him away. Carrie feels she might lose Sebastian because she doesn't go to school often, but at the same time, she is happy in Manhattan. Larissa calls Carrie at work, asking her to come to a photo shoot to photograph her bag. Carrie apologizes due to work commitments. However, she becomes worried when Larissa says she won't be able to work with her again. Carrie lies to her boss, saying she needs to photocopy documents and promises not to be late. She attends the photo shoot, where Larissa gives her a very expensive-looking shawl as a gift. Carrie returns to work quickly, worried about being late, but successfully lies to her boss again. She gives her boss the shawl from Larissa to smooth over the situation, fearing that she might lose her job. The manager believes Carrie and asks her to return to her work. At that moment, Mouse is surprised to see Donna talking with Sebastian and goes to Carrie, urging her to act quickly because she is convinced that Donna wants to steal Sebastian away. Carrie decides to talk to him and asks him to meet her at the swimming pool. However, she is shocked to find out that she had planned to meet Dorit at the same time. Carrie apologizes to Dorit and explains what happened. Dorit is upset and leaves her alone. Sebastian arrives on time and swims with Carrie. Dorit tells their father what happened. He goes to the swimming pool and sees Carrie with Sebastian. He asks her to leave with him. Sebastian tries to talk to him and introduces himself, but Tony, Carrie's father, becomes more upset upon knowing him. At the same time, Magi returns home and finds Walt waiting for her for a long time. She is shocked when Walt tells her they must break up because he loves her, but not in the way she wants. Magi breaks down and cries. The next day, Carrie apologizes to her father and is surprised when he tells her she will not be punished again. However, he forbids her from seeing Sebastian, knowing him and his father, but refuses to tell her the real reason. Despite this, Carrie listens to him and refuses to go out with Sebastian. She apologizes to her sister and offers to spend the night with her and Mouse. Dorit agrees. Magi joins them and tells them she has broken up with Walt. They hug her. They spend the night together, very happy. We see Tony shopping and buying things for the house, but confused about buying specific things for his daughters. At school, Sebastian waits for Carrie and asks her out. Carrie agrees and enjoys listening to music with him, feeling that her father is wrong and that Sebastian is a good person. She decides to convince her father about him. However, Tony remains firm in his opinion and refuses to tell her the reason. Carrie discovers that her father was Sebastian's lawyer. At that time, Dorit enters and gets angry at her father for not buying the things she likes, complaining that her mother always bought her what she wanted. Dorit leaves the house. She is affected when she sees a rat in a store and decides to steal it. At the same time, Carrie decides to look through her father's files and is shocked when she opens Sebastian's file and learns that he was involved with his school teacher. The next day, she tells her friends and is confused because she feels Sebastian is a good person. Mouse advises her not to get involved with him, but Magi has a different opinion, seeing no problem in Carrie being with someone who has experiences. Then Mouse goes to Maggie's house to borrow a dress because her boyfriend Seth has contacted her again and asked to meet her. At this time, Carrie is shocked to find a rat in her sister's closet. She asks Dorit to return it or else she will tell their father. Dorit refuses and threatens her with Sebastian, saying she will tell their father that Carrie is going out with him. Carrie remains silent and goes out with Sebastian, forgetting about the school issue until he brings it up. Carrie becomes uncomfortable and leaves him quickly. At night, she travels with Mouse to Manhattan to meet Seth. Carrie takes them to an art exhibition and introduces them to Larissa. Meanwhile, Dorit is terrified when she loses her rat. Mouse is shocked by what she sees at the art exhibition and leaves, with Seth running after her. Mouse is happy when she discovers Seth still loves her and likes her just the way she is. Carrie returns home and finds Maggie with Dorit, who is sewing Magi's teddy bear because it was torn due to her upset feelings about Walt. Carrie tries to talk to her father about Sebastian, telling him him she opened the files and knows the truth. Her father becomes very angry because she could harm him in his work. He tells her that she is not the daughter he knows, as she has never acted recklessly, and what she did was illegal. Carrie defends Sebastian, saying he was just a young boy who made a mistake. Her father is upset with her and says he can no longer trust her. Dorit is happy when their father finds the rat and agrees to let her keep it. At that time, Carrie is with Sebastian, and she tells him she knows about his story with the school teacher. Sebastian becomes angry and says they can't continue, leaving her and walking away. When Carrie returns home, her father asks her to go out with him to buy a cage for the rat. Carrie apologizes to her father, who tells her he was afraid she would get hurt and that he believes in her and will always be there for her. Carrie is moved and hugs him. The next day at school, she is nervous when she sees Sebastian and hides from him, but sees him often. She then meets Walt and is very excited because they are going to spend Halloween in Manhattan. Carrie tries to avoid Sebastian, but he calls out to her. Carrie is upset when she learns he is having a party without inviting her because he's embarrassed about what happened between them. She tells her friends, who sympathize with her, but Walt sympathizes with Sebastian because Carrie saw his case file. Carrie feels guilty, but can't do anything because Sebastian refuses to listen to her. Then she and Walt get ready for the Halloween party, very excited. However, Dorit refuses to celebrate with her father, who discovers what she was doing to escape. He tells her he will remove the ladder under her window. He takes Carrie and Walt to the party, where they are amazed by the people there, especially Walt, who is very happy when he meets Bennett, who writes for a famous magazine. Carrie is impressed by Bennett and wants to get to know him. Carrie meets Larissa, who gives her and Walt drugs. Carrie refuses to take the drugs offered by Larissa and throws them on the ground. She is shocked to find out that Walt has taken a pill. Meanwhile, Magi decides to go to Sebastian's party and convinces Mouse to come with her. Carrie tries to get close to Bennett, but fails because she is helping a very drunk Larissa, who thinks she is a bird and wants to fly from a high floor. However, Carrie catches her and puts her to bed, staying by her side to calm her down, realizing that Larissa doesn't actually love the city life as she had imagined. Carrie leaves the room to talk to Bennett, but is surprised to learn that Walt has left the party drunk. She is very worried about him because he doesn't know anyone in the city. At the same time, Mouse is talking to Sebastian after beating him in a game. She tells him about herself and her parents, who want her to get into Harvard by any means. Mouse feels that Sebastian is listening, finds him interesting when he says he does that because she is intriguing. Mouse is surprised when he smokes marijuana in front of her, but asks to try it. Carrie tries to find out where Walt is, but cannot leave Larissa alone, especially after seeing a man approaching her while she is asleep. Carrie starts to dislike city life. She asks Bennett to stay with Larissa and leaves to look for Walt. A police officer interrupts Sebastian's party, wanting to search it, but Magi prevents it, trying to get close to him because they had a relationship. However, he refuses, telling her that what he is doing is wrong and that her father could get him arrested because she is underage. Magi is upset and threatens to tell her father if he searches the place. Mouse is very worried and afraid that someone will find out she is drunk, but she refuses to leave with Magi and stays at the party. Carrie finds Walt sitting alone on the street, looking sad. He tells her that he thought he wanted to live in this world, but now he's not sure if he can handle it. Carrie reassures him, telling him that this is all because of the drug's influence and that he is not in his normal state. Carrie is surprised when she returns home and finds Sebastian there with a very drunk Mouse. Sebastian brought her to Carrie's house because he couldn't take her to her own home. Carrie thanks him and is happy to realize that he is not as selfish as she thought, that he cares about people. Walt decides to go back to Magi. The next day, Carrie goes to school feeling that she is not alone because her friends are with her and she is there for them too. She then goes to the office where she meets George. Carrie is surprised to learn that he is the son of Harlan, her father's close friend. George reminds her that they used to play together when they were young and appears to be impressed by Carrie's honesty. Therefore, George invites Carrie to his mother's party. Magi and Mouse are surprised when they learn that Carrie has refused his invitation, especially since George is handsome and very wealthy. Carrie makes the excuse of a driving test and says she's busy, but they don't believe her and realize she still loves Sebastian. Carrie feels there might be a chance for them to get back together. Meanwhile, Tony is searching for his wedding ring but can't find it. He calls Harlan to ask about it and is distressed when his friend suggests not to look for the ring and to try to move on with his life. We then see Carrie taking her driving test. The instructor asks her to park, and at that moment, Carrie is shocked to see Sebastian with Donna. Distracted, she crashes the car and fails the test. Carrie is saddened when Sebastian tells her he has been dating Donna for a week. She pretends it doesn't matter to her and lies to him, saying she's also in a relationship. When Carrie gets home, she calls George and agrees to go to his mother's party, then looks for a dress to wear. Barbara, her manager, helps her because she knows George's mother well and understands that she is very controlling and cares about appearances. At the same time, Magi, Mouse, and Walt are at a restaurant when Madonna and her friends enter. Magi is annoyed because they are invading their usual spot, a place they've frequented since childhood. Therefore, Magi decides to stay and not let Madonna take over their special restaurant. Carrie gets ready for the party and George comes to pick her up. She's surprised to learn that his mother is hosting a formal party and has to change her dress. Upon arriving at the party, Carrie tries to interact with George's mother. She's surprised to see George's ex-girlfriend there and tries to socialize with her and George's friends, who are astonished to learn that Carrie is learning to drive, as they all have drivers. George's ex-girlfriend tries to embarrass Carrie, telling her that George will leave her because she is poor. Carrie responds, saying that it doesn't mean she is a failure, just that she is not from their social class. Meanwhile, Mouse is shocked to learn that Seth has been in relationships after they broke up. She lies to him, claiming she met someone too and mentions Walt's name. Carrie is distressed when she overhears George's mother talking to him, warning him against his relationship with Carrie, saying he can't live with someone from a different class, just like what happened to her and his father. However, George is unconvinced by her words and chases after Carrie, telling her he wants someone real in his life as he doesn't like his life and feels like a stranger. Maggie argues with Donna and asks her to give up and admit defeat. At this point, Sebastian enters and learns from Maggie that the restaurant is the only safe place for Carrie. Sebastian convinces Donna to leave with him, telling her that he loves her as she is. She doesn't need to do all this. Donna is happy and agrees to leave with him. George returns to the party to tell his mother that he will be leaving with Carrie, but his mother is upset, refuses to let him leave her alone. However, she is surprised when she learns that Carrie is Tony's daughter. It turns out that George's mother knew Carrie's mother. They were friends. Carrie is moved when she tells her about her mother and learns that her mother loved Manhattan but had to live in a small city to raise her and her sister. Later, Carrie passes her driving test. At this time, Mouse introduces George to her friends. Seth is surprised to see Walt and wants to fight him, but Mouse stops him and tells him the truth. She confesses that she was upset with him and lied. Seth reconciles with her and promises not to betray her again. Carrie enters and they all sit together, happy. On Thanksgiving Day, Carrie decides to do what her mother used to do because her mother loved Thanksgiving very much. Therefore, she decides to cook the same food her mother used to make. Carrie's relationship with George develops. They become a couple. She invites him, Harlan, and his father to Thanksgiving. George is happy because it's the first time he's dating someone who can cook. Carrie tells him that her grandmother will cook and she will help. Mouse is surprised when she learns this and thinks Carrie is joking. But Carrie is prepared and buys everything from the supermarket. She is shocked to learn that her grandmother can't visit them because her flight is cancelled. However, Carrie insists on cooking herself and refuses to let her father buy food from outside. Dorit appears upset and doesn't want Carrie to cook the same food as their mother, but Carrie starts preparing everything, tidying her room and hiding embarrassing things so George won't see them. Meanwhile, Maggie meets the police officer, who's surprised to learn that she has returned to Walt and that she will spend Thanksgiving with him and his family. Carrie is surprised when she can't find her mother's recipes and has to call Mouse for help. Later, George and his father arrive. Carrie notices that her sister has revealed the things she was hiding to embarrass her in front of her boyfriend. Magi tries to act normal with Walt's parents, who seem to be very controlling. Magi is uncomfortable when Walt's mother asks her about the university she plans to attend. Carrie is surprised when Magi tells her she plans to attend a university near Walt. At this time, Carrie and Mouse try to clean the turkey but are disgusted. Carrie worries when she notices George talking with Dorit and fears her sister might take revenge by speaking ill of her. Carrie is flustered and unable to control the situation. Mouse calls her because she can't fit the turkey in the oven, but Carrie manages to do it forcefully. She is relieved when Dorit goes to her room and Carrie tries to finish cooking quickly. Sebastian is at his mother's house and is saddened to learn she went out and won't celebrate the holiday with him. Magi is happy when talking with Walt, who can't believe someone like her loves him, as she is brave and confident and doesn't follow anyone like him. Carrie manages to finish cooking on time, but Dorit is upset and leaves the house. Carrie argues with her after learning she hid the recipes, intentionally trying to ruin the day. However, Carrie is saddened when she realizes her sister is upset because their mother isn't with them. She pleads with Dorit to come out of her room, but Dorit refuses. Carrie is shocked when she enters the kitchen and finds the turkey burnt, and not only that, but the oven explodes and the power in the entire house goes out. Carrie is furious with her father. Realizing the situation is very difficult, she tells her father that she is his daughter, not his wife, and he should be helping and taking care of her. Dorit thanks Carrie for not telling their father about her smoking marijuana. Carrie learns that her mother hated Thanksgiving because she was stressed as no one helped her. Dorit tells Carrie she reminded her of their mother when she heard her screaming in the kitchen. Dorit offers to help her next year and clean the turkey. Tony feels sad and realizes he isn't taking care of his daughters, as he is the only one responsible for the family, not Carrie. The police officer tries to get close to Magi after she returns to her house, but she refuses and asks him to leave. Realizing she is impulsive, does things without thinking about their impact on her, those around her. She then goes to Carrie's house to spend Thanksgiving. Carrie is surprised when Sebastian visits her and tells her about what his mother did. Carrie is moved when he says he was sure she would understand him. She asks him to spend the holiday with them and manages to convince her father, who helps Carrie prepare the food. They all eat together and are happy. Afterwards, Carrie goes to work and finds George waiting for her. He tells her he will give her a ride. Carrie is pleased with their relationship, but becomes uneasy when she sees Sebastian at school. She feels there is still an attraction between them. George tries to get close to her, but Carrie refuses, using the excuse that Barbara might see them. Then, Carrie meets Maggie and Mouse, who ask her to invite George to the dance party. Carrie is hesitant, especially after learning that Sebastian told Donna about Thanksgiving. Therefore, Magi suggests inviting George to overshadow Sebastian. Tony is surprised when he finds the dance tickets his wife had booked before she passed away. He learns that she used to attend the dance every year with Dorit. Feeling uneasy, Tony is persuaded by Carrie to go with Dorit to the dance, and Dorit agrees to go with her father. Donna is upset when she learns from Magi that Carrie is in a relationship and plans to bring her boyfriend to the dance. Carrie is surprised when Larissa offers her a job at the magazine because she is very smart and has good ideas. Carrie is torn, especially since Larissa doesn't know she is still in school. Magi advises Carrie to accept the offer, saying it's a rare opportunity and she should follow her dream. However, Mouse has a different opinion and suggests Carrie talks to her father first, as he might be upset if he finds out she left the law office. Carrie is more confused and struggles to bring up the topic with her father, but backs off after learning how hard he worked to get her the job and that the school had also agreed. Carrie feels her father wants her to be a lawyer like him and fulfill his dream. Meanwhile, Mouse tries to improve her grades, as she performed poorly in the exam due to her relationship with Seth. The school agrees to let her retake the exam to improve her grades, but Mouse is shocked to learn she has to complete the exam in a very short time, meaning she won't be able to celebrate with Seth. Carrie decides to ask George to go with her to the party after feeling that Sebastian is not interested in her. Carrie is thrilled when Larissa sends her the magazine to her house, featuring the headline she suggested on the photo of her bag. Then George arrives and they go to the party together. Mouse escapes from Seth to take the exam, but he sees her. They both laugh at the situation. Meanwhile, Magi feels lonely because Walt is sick and can't attend the party. Sebastian is surprised when he sees George with Carrie at the party and becomes jealous when he learns they are in a relationship. Magi leaves the party and meets the police officer, succumbing to her feelings and entering into a relationship with him. Meanwhile, Dorit is at the opera, enjoying herself but feeling upset when she sees her father asleep. She argues with him, expressing her reluctance to have attended with him. However, she feels guilty when she learns that he hadn't slept for 2 days to finish his work and accompany her. Yet, she is also upset that her father doesn't really know her, lamenting that no one cared for her like her mother did. Carrie notices Sebastian looking at her a lot during the party, leading to an argument between them before she leaves with George. At the same time, Donna sees Sebastian watching them and decides to leave the party. She's surprised to see Magi leaving the police officer's car and agrees with her to keep Carrie away from Sebastian, threatening to expose her infidelity to Walt. Carrie, in the car with George, becomes angry with him for trying to force intimacy, showing little concern for her being a virgin. Consequently, Carrie breaks up with him and walks away. Simultaneously, Mouse breaks up with Seth because their relationship is hindering their studies. Mouse decides she wants to achieve her dream more than being in a relationship. Maggie decides to confess everything to Carrie, revealing her infidelity to Walt. Carrie advises her to talk honestly with him. Dorit is pleased when she feels her father's concern for her, embracing him after they leave the party. The next day, Carrie goes to the magazine, deciding to pursue her dream and work there. Carrie feels compelled to lie to her father. She leaves the law firm after he drops her off and heads to the magazine. She is excited to work with Larissa. Meanwhile, Sebastian notices Mouse avoiding him and learns from her that she's doing so to avoid trouble with Donna. Mouse is surprised when she finds out that Sebastian intends to break up with Donna and decides to let him know that Carrie has broken up with George. Maggie tries to tell Walt the truth, sensing he feels she has changed, but she struggles to speak wake up. She becomes nervous when she learns Sebastian plans to break up with Donna, fearing exposure. Donna is surprised when Sebastian breaks up with her, as no one has ever left her before. She accepts the situation and asks him to keep it a secret, planning to claim that she was the one who ended the relationship. Sebastian agrees. Carrie decides to attend Larissa's party and apologizes to Magi and Mouse for not being able to attend the school party with them. Mouse informs her that Sebastian plans to leave Donna and persuades her to get back with him. However, Carrie refuses, saying she won't be with someone who loves another. But in reality, she is concerned about hurting Magi. The next day, Carrie encounters Sebastian at school and waits for him to talk to her. However, he leaves her and walks away with Donna, who is speaking with Walt at the time. Donna discovers that Walt is nice and decides she wants to make him fall in love with her. Mouse is angry with Sebastian for not breaking up with Donna, as he said he would, but is surprised to learn that they have actually separated. She urges Sebastian to talk to Carrie and ask her out, but Carrie is busy and doesn't answer the phone. Sebastian decides to surprise her by going to Manhattan, and Mouse is very excited to accompany him. Meanwhile, Tony is with Harlan, who is with a woman. Tony goes with her to meet her cousin Risa. Tony quickly gets along with Risa and finds her pleasant. At the party, Carrie meets a guy who is impressed by her and asks her to dance with him. She happily agrees. At the same time, Sebastian and Mouse are stuck in traffic, and Mouse is worried about getting home late. Donna succeeds in implementing her plan against Walt, telling him about Maggie's infidelity. At the party, Carrie is having a good time, but is shocked to see her father there. She tries to explain the situation to him, but he gets angry. Larissa defends her, but is surprised to learn that Carrie is only 16 years old. Nonetheless, Larissa remains enthusiastic. Magi encounters Walt and is shocked to learn that he has discovered her infidelity. He decides to leave her, telling her he will never come back to her. Magi breaks down, attempting to defend herself, but Walt refuses to forgive her and leaves. Back in Manhattan, Mouse is disappointed because they can't find Carrie. Sebastian reassures her, saying he doesn't regret trying. Tony is furious with Carrie, who fails to defend herself. She is saddened when her father forbids her from going to Manhattan again and asks her to forget it. The next day, Carrie apologizes to him and tries to convince him, expressing her dream of working at the magazine. Tony remains firm in his decision and forbids her. Carrie tells him he can't stop her from wanting her own life. At this time, Donna meets Walt, manages to start a relationship with him. Sebastian returns to Carrie and visits her at the restaurant where she hangs out. She is delighted to discover that they now have a special nickname for each other. Mouse is shocked to find out there is a student smarter than her at school named Thomas. She feels threatened by his presence and fears he might take her place at Harvard. Walt's relationship with Donna develops, and she feels he is different from any guy she has met before. She tells him she can be herself with him. Meanwhile, Tony is with Larissa and feels uneasy when she gets close to him, but eventually he enters into a relationship with her. Afterward, Carrie is seen crying to Mouse, worried about her relationship with Sebastian. She fears they might break up or something bad might happen. Carrie overthinks and is scared, preventing her from enjoying her time with Sebastian. Mouse advises her not to ruin their relationship because of her fears, but Carrie remains apprehensive and refuses to go out with Sebastian, telling him she's going to the library with her sister. Mouse is shocked to learn that Thomas is ranked first in their class, with her in second place. She becomes more upset when Carrie tells her he's the best athlete on the school team. At the same time, they see Walt with Donna and feel disgusted by their relationship, although Walt seems very happy with Donna. Carrie goes to the library with her sister, but is surprised when she returns home and finds Sebastian there, wanting to spend time with her. Dorit plays loud music, prompting Carrie to go to her room to scold her, only to find that Dorit isn't there and has run away. Carrie calls all of Dorit's friends, but can't find her. Sebastian notices Dorit's papers and learns that she is fond of an artist who committed suicide after killing his girlfriend. He discovers that Dorit is at the hotel where the incident occurred and tells Carrie they must find her. Carrie is anxious about disobeying her father's instruction not to go to Manhattan, but is convinced by Sebastian. Meanwhile, Tony is with Harlan at a club and is surprised to learn that his friend is in a relationship with Larissa. Harlan convinces Tony to talk to Larissa to help him with his relationship with Risa, as Tony hasn't been in relationships for a while. Sebastian is surprised when Carrie insists on searching for her sister alone and becomes angry at it, blaming him for always causing her trouble. She then heads to the hotel alone, but is surprised to find Sebastian already there with Dorit, having arrived earlier by car to save her. Tony talks to Larissa, who tries to convince him of his daughter's writing talent, asserting that she is an excellent writer. Tony is surprised, as he had expected Carrie to become a lawyer like him. Larissa tells him he doesn't know his daughter well and should let her pursue her dream, arguing that he surely wants her to be happy. Dorit is pleased when Carrie Carrie doesn't scold her and lets her take the pictures she wants. Carrie is moved when her sister tells her that Sebastian is more wonderful than she had imagined. She thanks Sebastian for his support with her and Dorit and shares her fears with him. She feels relieved to discover that Sebastian has the same feelings. Mouse challenges Thomas in a cube game, wins against him, and is very happy. However, she's shocked to learn that Thomas has a difficult life, having to take care of his mother and brother due to the absence of his father. Mouse realizes she cannot compete with Thomas. Carrie is surprised when her father agrees to let her work at the magazine, telling her that he wants her to achieve her dream. She is thrilled and excited to return to work. Later at school, Mouse tells Carrie that Donna has broken up with Walt, who says Donna is nice, but they didn't work out. Carrie overcomes her fears about Sebastian and is happy as he shows care for her. Then Carrie's birthday arrives. She feels content with her life, surrounded by her friends and Sebastian, and working at the magazine of her dreams. Mouse tries to outdo Thomas and meets a Harvard graduate to help her. She becomes impressed with Thomas, especially after learning he is ranked first in their class. Mouse's annoyance with Thomas grows, and she decides to go out with him and the Harvard graduate. At the same time, Magi calls on Walt, hoping they can become friends again. She's surprised when Walt is understanding and admits he made mistakes as well. He agrees to be friends again. Carrie is at the magazine and is surprised when Larissa tells her they will attend an important party on Friday. Carrie is embarrassed and doesn't tell her it's her birthday. Sebastian learns she can't celebrate and asks to go to the party with her. He is happy and agrees immediately. Carrie apologizes to her friends, saying she was too embarrassed to tell Larissa. Maggie then reveals she has reconciled with Walt. Carrie and Mouse are surprised when Maggie says Walt intends to get back together with her, but Magi is shocked when Walt tells her they are just friends. Dorit goes to a record store to buy a gift for her sister, but decides to steal a tape. The store owner, Miller, catches her and locks her in a room, threatening to call the police. Dorit is frightened, but finds no one outside when she leaves. Realizing Miller intended to scare her, she becomes angry, leaves without taking the tape she bought, and exits the store. Sebastian apologizes to Carrie, saying he can't go to the party with her because his mother wants to meet him. Carrie acts normal, but in reality, she is upset. Walt accompanies her, and she asks him why he still goes out with Donna. Walt says that Donna is nice and listens to him, which is why he can talk to her about anything. Carrie enjoys the party a lot, especially because Larissa introduces her to a famous writer. Carrie tries to impress him to get an internship and actually succeeds, but she misses the opportunity because Sebastian comes to the party. Carrie tries to find the writer but can't, and reluctantly returns to Miller's store to get the tape. She angrily demands the tape from him, but is surprised when Miller treats her kindly and gives her the stolen tape as a gift, appreciating her taste in music. Sebastian drinks until he becomes drunk, and Carrie insists that they leave. As they are about to leave, she sees the writer but chooses her boyfriend over the opportunity. Mouse has to photograph the basketball team Thomas plays on. She successfully gets the team together, so they ask her to be the team manager. She is very happy and immediately agrees. Carrie drives Sebastian home because he is drunk. She learns he is sad because his mother didn't meet him as usual. She tries to comfort him and takes him home, where he thanks her for being there. When they arrive, Sebastian's mother enters but ignores Carrie. Sebastian refuses to go out with Carrie, saying he will stay with his mother. The next day, Carrie is surprised when her father gives her a credit card as a gift. She is delighted with it, shows it to her sister, who makes her a special tape for her birthday. Carrie is moved by the tape because it contains all the songs their mother loved. Carrie asks Dorit to join her at the restaurant to meet her friends. At the restaurant, Carrie meets Donna and gives her the bag she wanted, appreciating that she was good to Walt. Donna is happy, says she loves Walt and wants him to be happy. Magi talks to Walt and asks if they can get back together, but he refuses, saying it will never happen. He will continue to love her only as a friend. Later, Carrie celebrates her birthday with Mouse, Maggie, Walt, her sister, and her boyfriend. She is very happy, especially because she will be working full-time at the magazine in the summer and is excited about the experience, especially getting paid. Sebastian tells her he will miss her. Then he meets his mother. Sebastian is embarrassed because his mother talks about intimate details of her relationship with his father at school. The next day, Carrie goes to the magazine, and the magazine's owner calls her, asking her to make sure Larissa sends his package at the end of the day. Carrie tells the magazine owner that she will send the package in 2 hours, but is shocked when Bennett informs her that Larissa won't return for 2 days. She must deliver the package to the magazine owner, or else both she and Larissa will be fired, and she won't be able to work in Manhattan again. Carrie decides to pick up the package herself, but the shop owner refuses to hand it over to anyone but Larissa. Carrie lies, pretending to be Larissa, and convinces the shop owner, who believes her and asks her to wait for the package to arrive. Carrie is pleased when her plan works and the shop owner gives her a dress as a gift to wear. She calls Sebastian to tell him what happened, but has to hang up abruptly when the shop owner appears. Carrie is shocked when the shop owner offers her more dresses as gifts in exchange for writing about her shop in the magazine, feeling like it's a bribe. Meanwhile, Mouse is with the team, presenting her plan to help them win against their opponents. However, her strategy causes a rift among the players as she points out their weaknesses and compares them to each other, leading to arguments. Thomas gets angry with her, saying that her approach will make them lose as teamwork is crucial. Carrie feels everything revolves around competition and is surprised when Thomas accuses her of acting like Donna, who almost destroyed their team. At a yoga class, Tony gets irritated by a woman chewing gum next to him, can't concentrate. He argues with her and leaves the place. Carrie calls Bennett about the bribe and learns that most of Larissa's bribes are ignored, and Bennett advises her to accept the dresses. Suddenly, a woman appears, wanting to attack Carrie, mistaking her for Larissa, who had an affair with her boyfriend. Carrie confesses her true identity, and the shop owner overhears and kicks her out. However, Carrie manages to take the package before leaving. Tony encounters the gum-chewing woman from the yoga class named Deb and apologizes for his behavior, but she annoys him further by chewing gum in front of him. Tony tells her she's the most annoying woman he's ever met, but then they start a relationship. Sebastian and Magi are shocked to see Tony with Deb and decide not to tell Carrie. Mouse tries to fix her mistake after learning from Donna that she caused 2 team members to fight over her, but then got back together as friends. Mouse replicates this strategy, causing the players to reconcile, but ends up being kicked out of the team, which helps the players become friends again. Sebastian returns home and finds his mother waiting for him, crying because she had another argument with his father. Annoyed, Sebastian asks her not to involve him in their problems because she doesn't care about him or know anything about him, despite being her son. His mother is saddened and apologizes, admitting her selfishness. Sebastian reassures her that he will always be there for her. Carrie successfully delivers the package to the magazine owner, who is impressed with her professionalism for delivering it early. Carrie is relieved and happy, especially feeling like she's becoming a part of the city and knowing everything about it. The next day, Thomas discovers Mouse's plan and is impressed. Mouse, feeling uneasy when she sees him at the restaurant, tells Carrie that Thomas is flirting with her to distract her and make her get bad grades so he can get into Harvard. Carrie is surprised by her claim. However, the truth is that Mouse is attracted to Thomas but doesn't want him to take her place. Tony's relationship with Deb progresses. Deb calls him to meet, but they can only find time after 2 weeks because of their children, and she tells him that it makes her see the world in a different way. Then she asks Sebastian to go to a concert of a famous singer, saying she will have Larissa get him a ticket because she wants to spend a special day with him. Sebastian agrees. Carrie is surprised when she asks her father for permission to stay at Mouse's house, and he agrees immediately. At that moment, Dorrit enters, and they are shocked to see her without makeup. Carrie learns that she likes someone and changes for him. Carrie tells her she is happy. When night falls, she gets ready and travels with Sebastian to Manhattan. Carrie is moved when she holds his hand and wants to confess her love to him, but the ticket guy interrupts them. She doesn't get to say it. Carrie is surprised when they arrive at the party and Sebastian's name is not on the guest list. She finds out Larissa forgot to book for him. Carrie asks Sebastian to wait while she talks to Larissa, but she can't find her and feels guilty towards Sebastian, fearing their day would be ruined. However, Carrie insists until she finds someone who helps her get a ticket for her boyfriend. At that time, Mouse is with Thomas and gets involved with him, but later feels uncomfortable and tells him she has things to accomplish and leaves. Carrie apologizes to Sebastian, who asks her to stop apologizing and says he doesn't mind being alone. Later, she meets Bennett, who asks for her help to get a quote from the songwriter. Carrie is excited when she learns he will publish what she writes in the magazine. She apologizes to Sebastian, saying she needs to work. He agrees, but Carrie notices he is upset. She chooses work and stays with the writer. At the same time, Tony is at Deb's, and he is shocked when her son sees him naked. Tony and Deb argue because he thought her son was with his father. Deb is upset because he doesn't understand the struggles of being a divorced woman, raising her son alone, and she asks him to leave. Carrie leaves the party excited and keeps talking about the writer, which annoys Sebastian, who reminds her they were supposed to spend the day together, but she was busy. Carrie gets angry and tells him he never expresses his feelings and that she always has to ask him. The truth is, Sebastian is upset because Carrie hasn't confessed her love to him. She tells him she was waiting for the perfect moment, knows she overthinks. She says if he doesn't like it, they should break up. Carrie feels she made a mistake, but gets even more upset when Sebastian immediately agrees to separate. Carrie is very sad, cries to Mouse. The next day, Tony meets Deb and apologizes for his words, telling her he should have been more empathetic, especially since he is in the same situation. Deb forgives him, and they agree to get back together. Mouse is happy to learn that Thomas helped her get extra grades, and her teacher will write her a college recommendation. She agrees to go out with Thomas. The next day, Carrie meets Mouse and Maggie, who tried to console her, telling her that Sebastian was the one who lost her and he wasn't good enough anyway. However, they changed their tune, and Maggie tells her that they were good together, which upsets Carrie because they broke up before the graduation party. Still, she decides to go to the party with Maggie and Mouse, who refuses to go with Thomas because her parents don't know him and want her to be with a Chinese guy like herself. Maggie is shocked when a police officer enters with his fiancée. Carrie is surprised when she comes back from work to find Sebastian waiting for her, apologizing for breaking up and admitting he can't express his feelings well. He tells her he loves her, and Carrie, also confessing her love, hugs him. The next day, Carrie apologizes to Maggie for going to the party with Sebastian. Maggie tells her she's happy for her because her boyfriend is a good person who wants to protect her. Carrie is puzzled and asks why he needs to protect her. Maggie reluctantly reveals that she saw Carrie's father with another woman, and Sebastian was with her at the time. Carrie is shocked and angry at Sebastian for not telling her, but he says he knew she would be upset to find out her father is just an ordinary person. Carrie tells Sebastian that her parents are not like his and that her father loved her mother. She realizes that she and Sebastian are too different, even in the way they were raised, and that she can't continue with him because she can't live with the pain she feels all the time. Carrie refuses to talk to Maggie, telling her she wants to be alone. Sebastian fights with Maggie for ruining his relationship with Carrie, accusing her of being jealous because she can't maintain a relationship with anyone. Maggie is upset and tells him she was happy for them and that it's not her fault that nobody loves her or wants to be with her. Carrie then returns home and tells her father he doesn't spend time with them anymore, and she wants him to spend that time with them. Tony feels she knows he's involved with someone. At the same time, Mouse learns that her parents were lying to her about being from a prestigious family and that they are just peasants. She realizes she had always listened to her parents while they were lying to her. Carrie attends Larissa's party, where Larissa apologizes upon learning about Carrie's breakup with Sebastian and convinces her to follow her heart and get back with her lover. Carrie thanks and hugs her. Meanwhile, Maggie is at a bar with Sebastian because she refuses to attend the graduation party. Maggie gets drunk, expresses her fear of being alone, approaches Sebastian and kisses him, which surprises him when Carrie shows up at his house, telling him she knows their relationship is complicated, but she doesn't care and wants to be with him. Sebastian tries to confess to her but can't. At the same time, Tony is with Deb, telling her they can't continue at the moment because his daughters are not ready for something like this, meaning it's not the time for him to be with someone else. Deb understands and asks him to stay with her just for the night. Mouse decides to leave the party and goes to Thomas, telling him she talked to her parents and wants to be with him. They turn on the music in the restaurant and dance together. The next day, Carrie returns home after spending the night at Sebastian's. Maggie visits her and confesses what happened, saying she cried all night and felt terrible. Carrie stops her, saying she's not the victim and always wants to be the center of attention, even though she never judged her. Maggie says she will make it up to her, but Carrie refuses to forgive her, stating that being friends for a long time doesn't mean she's a good friend, and asks her to leave. Maggie cries and leaves. Carrie breaks down and refuses to answer Sebastian's calls. Dorrit comes in, and Carrie asks her about Miller and advises her to take care of herself. Dorrit agrees to tell Sebastian that Carrie is not there if he knocks. Later, Mouse introduces Thomas to her parents. Carrie talks to her father, wanting him to be happy and okay with him loving and getting involved with someone else. She then asks if she can live in Larissa's apartment during the summer, saying Walt will be with her, which will allow her to work full-time. Tony agrees. Later, we see Carrie with Walt in Larissa's apartment, realizing she's starting to forget what happened, despite the pain that reminds her she lived and survived. Carrie feels ready to leave her mark and make an impact on the world.